Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Steve Breach coming to you here today as I'm taking a stroll down the beach, kicking up a little bit of sand as I go here. Wanted to make a video, a little bit of a throwback, but not really too old school of wrestling, but probably like one of the most times I've ever really been shocked that something is going down inside of the ring. And, as wrestling fans, we all know what goes on, behind the curtain. We try to act like we don't know what's going on because we want to see, it's kind of like going to the movies. It's not real, but you want to see how it all turns out and how the good guy comes out at the end. But during SummerSlam 2016, I really was shocked to see what was going down in the main event. A SummerSlam, it came down to being Brock Lesnar against Randy Orton. It was the main event match of SummerSlam. To me, honestly, it was built up as like supposed to be a big match, but honestly, in my mind, it was almost like a make good for Brock Lesnar to like put him over, to make him look strong. The big controversy that came from Brock that year is that WWE had gave him a chance to main event UFC 200 against, what was it, Mike Hunt? I think it was Mike Hunt. Was the guy's name. And Brock had a pretty decisive victory at UFC 200. I remember at the time he got a $2.5 million bonus for winning the match. Pretty good payday for a night's work. Of course, there was a lot of work that went to get ready, a lot of preparation, a lot of training that he got paid back for, and steroids and stuff like that to buy. Brock had failed 2 separate USADA drug tests. He failed the pre-test, he failed the after-fight, the post-test, and it was public. Everybody knew it was dirty. WWE, they didn't really make a stand. They didn't really say anything about it at the time. WWE had a deal with ESPN SportsCenter, where basically they were going on SportsCenter once a week to talk about the news of what is what in the world of wrestling. And they didn't talk about it. And it definitely was the biggest story of the day. And it was almost like ESPN, they had to announce the facts. They had to tell the news. But it was almost like they didn't really harp on it. They didn't really push the issue because more than likely WWE was paying them to do the spot where they would give them a wrestler once a week to tell them the news. But during the week of UFC 200, they made a big deal where WWE announced that the next Brock Lesnar match would be against Randy Orton at SummerSlam. Brock really didn't wrestle all that much, just like he didn't really wrestle now. This is pretty much 4 to 5 matches a year. And for him to be main eventing against Randy Orton, that was kind of like a match that people really wanted to see. Randy's not one of my favorite guys in the WWE. It kind of seemed like if you've seen one Randy Orton match, you've seen them all. But that match, I don't know, for some reason it kind of seemed special. Randy was destined for a push. If anybody was going to have a chance to beat Brock, maybe it was him, and maybe WWE would teach him a lesson for wanting to go do the UFC thing and pretty much embarrassing them for failing the drug test. Something that WWE has always kind of fought against for a long time. But then again, they say they drug test the people on the main roster, but then a lot of people always say that the special event guys, Triple H, Vince, Brock, maybe Rock, they're not drug-tested guys because they're not on the everyday main roster to be out there. But at the show, they go out there, they do their thing, and basically Brock hits the F5 on Orton, and Orton flips out. He kicks out of the F5, and Brock is like, I'm going to have to teach you a lesson, and just starts dropping these elbows down on Randy's forehead. Seems like he hits him at least 20 times trying to bust him open. once he finally gets him open, it's blood, guts, just everywhere in the ring. And Brock just won't stop. They finally call the match as a TKO. They give the victory to Brock Lesnar. And out of the back comes Shane McMahon. He's the guy that's going to break up this fight. Shane pretty much was going into business for himself. We made a video about Shane going to AEW probably about a month ago. And talking about the fact that, a lot of people thought that he went into business for himself with the Royal Rumble a few years ago. When he was one of the producers to make himself look really, really strong. And it seems that, he wanted to have a match with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 33. And, of course, it would be Brock versus Roman. So, naturally, Brock vetoed the match against Shane. And, there's still words that come out after WrestleMania 33's main event. Brock and Shane got into a backstage altercation after that. So Shane definitely wanted this match, whether it was him as the performer, him as the I don't know what word I'm trying to say, not the producer, but he definitely was trying to get this match for himself for one way or another, whether it was money, whether it was guts, glory. I'm not really sure. Of course, Shane got the match against AJ, but of course, this looks so real that, like I said, I got worked. I didn't know what was going on. Chris Jericho, once Brock came to the back, confronted Brock, thinking that he had gone into business for himself. They got into a backstage scuffle, and the rest is history from there. I mean, everyone's told their side of the story. It is what it is. WWE tried to cover up the fact that WWE tried to cover up the fact that Randy Orton suffered a concussion. They were in the middle of a concussion lawsuit at the time with past wrestlers who had wrestled for them, and Brock kept on being the main event guy. Randy got 10 stitches in his forehead, and then after that, he kept being Randy Orton. He's still wrestling out there today. I don't know. One of the weirdest things I've ever seen in the world of wrestling.